बजहु रे मना श्री नंदनंदन भय चरणारविंद रे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे तरहु रे भव सिंधु रे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे तरहु रे भव सिंधु रे बजहु रे मना श्री नंदनंदन भय चरणारविंद रे शीत आतप बाट बरीषण यदि न जामिनी जागिरे विफलिसे विनु कृपण धुर जना विफलिसे विनु कृपण धुर जना चपल सुकल भलागिरे चपल सुकल भलागिरे बजहु रे मना श्री नंदनंदन भय चरणारविंद रे धन यौवन पुत्र परिजन इते किया चपरति तिरे कमल दल जल जीवन तलमला कमल दल जल जीवन तलमला बजहु हरि पाद नीति रे बजहु हरि पाद नीति रे बजहु रे मना श्री नंदनंदन भय चरणारविंद रे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे पूजन सखी जना हाथ निवेदना पूजन सखी जना आत्मनिवेदना गोविंद दास अभिलाष रे गोविंद दास अभिलाष रे बजहु रे मना श्री नंदनंदन भय चरणारविंद रे बजहु रे मना श्री नंदनंदन भय चरणारविंद रे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, I have allowed.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Very
Krishna
beautiful,
Mataji.
very melodious.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, what a beautiful voice you have.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I'll just go through the translation once, what we have sung just now. Okay. So this is sung by Govinda Dasa Goswami. So here, this is a translation. This was the first song which Prabhupada actually taught for Westerners. So let's just read the meaning. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. Having obtained this rare human form, cross over this ocean of widely existence through the association of saintly persons. Both in the day and at the night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pain of heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have useless served wicked and miserly men. Sorry. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, son, and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on the lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. It is the desire and the great longing of Govinda Dasa to engage himself in the nine process of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of the Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense, and so forth, serving him as a friend and completely offering the Lord one's very self. So this is a very beautiful song. Bajahu Remana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindari. So we are saying this mind to always be focused on the lotus feet of Lord Hari. In this Shita Atapa Batabarijana Edina Jamini Jagire. Every day there is some kind of miseries in our life. Shita Tapa. What is this world? Every day there is cold, there is heat. One season we have cold, one season we have heat. Every day there is something happening. Still, our mind says, yeah, this place is very nice to stay. Is this really a very nice place to stay here? Or go back to God? So here it is said, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala. Our life is Talamala, means a very crucial stage, tottering like a drop of water. Kamala Dala Jala, like in the petal of a lotus. How in the lotus, if you keep in the lotus petal a drop of water, how does it does it stand steadily? No, it just flickers here and there, and when it falls, we don't know. The same way our life, it's flickering here and there, we don't know. Padam padam yat vipadam nitesha. Every time we are going, we have some kind of misery in front of us. Every step has a misery. We don't know when our life is going to be end. So this is said in this poem. So better is to Bajau Hari Pada Nitire. Just worship the lotus feet of Lord Hari. So next it is said, Govinda Dasa Abhilasha. Now Govinda Dasa is longing for what? To engage in 9 kinds of devotional service. Navadha Bhakti, right? Anyone knows what is Navadha Bhakti? What kind of 9 types of devotional service? Anyone can tell?
Audio now.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam.
Atma Nivedanam. Yes, very good. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the meaning of the song, that we have to offer prayers to the Lord and always surrender to Abhaya Charana Ravinda. Okay. Yes. Today Hed Prabhu won't be there. He has a level 2 class in youth classes because of some exchange in the teacher. So he has gone there. So today we will do one PPT of before the presentation till 8:30 or 8:15, 8:20 or 8:30. I'll just show up some presentation on today's Ekadashi, right? So we can have some glories of chanting of the holy name. Yes. So the holy name is a universal and supreme religion for this age. So today is Ekadashi. So many of them are aspiring to chant more on Ekadashis, and it's very great. It's very nice that the real Upavas means Ekadashi Upavas. We say, no, Upavas means near to the Lord. So how to be near to the Lord, just not fasting, but also chanting, glorifying the Lord, hearing about the Lord. This all makes Ekadashi, not just fasting that I have kept Nirjal or I have kept Sajal or I have kept Ekadashi. It's not just about food. It's about the austerities, what you do on Ekadashi, mainly chanting and listening about the Lord. So these are some of the glories of the holy name of the Lord. So everybody know this shloka, I guess. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva Gatiranyatha. So what does this mean? In this age of Kali, there is no alternative. There is no alternative. There is no alternative for spiritual progress than the holy name of the Lord, the holy name of the Lord. So this is in Brahad Naradiya Purana, where Narad Maharshi is saying, what is to be done in Kali Yuga? Is there anything, yajna or altar worship or big worships or jnana, doing tapas? No. What is it? In the age of Kali Yuga, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. He's not saying once. A person, if he says once, or somebody calls you or stressfully says one thing, you tend to ignore that, or you don't want to hear that. Second time, again the reminder comes. You give little concentration. If the third time, again the reminder comes, you will be alert. So in the same way here, Narad Maharshi, he's not saying once, not saying twice, he's saying thrice here. There is no alternative. Kalau nasteva. Nasti means there is nothing else. Eva means there is nothing. There is nasti means nothing else. What is it? Only the Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. So glories or the holy name can only deliver you from this misery or the misery land, or we can say the earth or the material world. It is full of misery. Only the Lord's name, the holy name of the Lord can only deliver you. So here Narad Muni is stressing thrice. And here let me give an example. Okay, there is a mother, and she has 2 children. Okay, one is elder one and one is younger one. Okay, elder one, he does everything independently, and he can go anywhere, he can roam, he can travel alone, he can do many of the works that mother gives him. order, he can go to the market, he can purchase by himself, everything he can do independently, he is earning and everything. But there is a younger son who is always be like, mama, mama, mother, please help me, or always taking mother's name. Every time there is kind of a small distress in his studies or something, he will be going, mama, please help me, mama, or mother, please help me, amma, or something he will tell. At that time, mother, she doesn't care about the elder son because she knows he's independent, quite independent, and he does not want much attention. But the smaller, younger child is constantly calling mother's name or constantly begging for her help, she is giving more attention to that, right? um, you must have seen many mothers, they care more or give more attention to the small babies they have, because they're not independent, they're dependent on mother, right? In the same way, when you chant the holy name, when you fully depend on the Lord gives special care and attention to that devotee, right? So this way, he is always constantly, because you're chanting his holy names, you're not just calling out, you're chanting constantly. What is chanting? Repeatedly you're saying his name, you're not saying once or twice, you're repeatedly saying his names. So at that time, Lord gives you special attention. You're calling once, or somebody, here you come here, or some name you're calling once, twice, he may ignore you, but constantly you are calling again and again to that same person, he won't tend to ignore you. Instead, he will give, or she will give you special care or attention, that this child needs independence. And who are those this child needs dependence, or this child has depended on that mother. Or in the same way, like Krishna is the supreme master of everybody, right? He is the supreme personality of Godhead, and all of us are dependent on him. So um, uh, all of us are dependent on him. So he will give a special attention to his devotees because of this, because he is always chanting and always remembering to the Lord. So when the jiva, or the part and parcel of the supreme Lord, the living entity, forgets the Lord, we have all forgotten the Lord. We don't know how he is looking. We don't know, we don't remember, we don't know, in the sense we don't remember, we have seen him, but somewhere by our false ego or something, we have come here to this material world and we have forgotten him, the dormant Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada always said that dormant Krishna consciousness, because we don't remember the Lord, because of that. So Krishna Bulia Jeev. So when the living entity forgets the Lord, it just uh, forgets the Lord. So that time, Japatiya Maya. So the Maya, the forgetfulness of Krishna means the illusionary energy or Maya. When you forget Krishna, we think that we are independent of Krishna, or we don't want Krishna. It's not true. When you are away from Krishna, that means Maya is there. You are somewhere dependent. Nothing is independent of Krishna. Even the illusionary energy is also dependent on Krishna. When this happens, we forget Maya. When we forget Krishna, and Maya will hold on us. So how to get out of this Maya? Only by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So in Kali Kale, Krishna Avatar. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So in the age of Kali, what is the best thing? It is Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. How has Krishna come? Krishna has come in the form of the holy name. So this is in the age of Kali. How are we going to uh, get delivered from this illusionary energy or this material universe? So the independent who are trying to be independent are mostly like yogis, either karma yogis or jnana yogis. They don't want to depend on Krishna. They think they are independent, but they are not. They are under the illusion of Maya. So, who brought this in the age of Kali? Who brought this chanting of the holy name? So, Krishna Varnam Prisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jnane Sankirtana Praye Yajantihi Sumedasa. So now what is this? Krishna Varnam Tvasha Krishnam. In the age of Kali, intelligent people perform congregational chanting of the worship to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of the Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associate, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 5th chapter 32nd verse. So what is this? Krishna Varnam Tvasha Krishna. He is Krishna, but he is not in blackish color. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. Sangopangastra Parshadam. Yagne Sankirtana prayer. So in the age of Kali, the intelligent people, Sumedasa, Meda means intelligence. Sumedasa, very intelligent people will take the will take up the chanting of the holy name, or glorifying the holy name, or congregational chanting of the holy name in the age of Kali. So who will be coming in the age of Kali? Who has come now? He has come who is not in the blackish color, but he is Krishna himself. So it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he won't come alone. When Krishna comes, he never comes alone. He comes with the associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with the mercy, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can get the get entry into Goloka. So it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like a key for Goloka. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you want Krishna, if you want to serve Krishna personally, or if you want to serve Radharani personally, you can't go there. We are like small ants under the tree of mango. The mango is very high. We are just ants. Can ants climb the tree and take the mango? It's impossible, right? So what is it? The shuka, or the parrot, when it comes, and or any of the bird, when it comes on the branch of the tree, and when it pricks the mango, and at that time the drops of mango juice falls on the ground, at that time the ants can have uh, the taste of the mango. In the same way, when Krishna, when the in the Shukadeva Goswami, he glorified. He was actually glorifying, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam. He is meant for Kirtan, right? So when he was glorifying, we cannot understand what was going in Goloka, what was going in Vaikuntha. No, we don't know. We don't know how it is. But through the Shastras, or through the submissive hearing from the Guru, and from the Guru we can understand the glory of the spiritual world, or Krishna. So this is how there is some kind of, we cannot we cannot actually go to Krishna but by the mercy of Krishna, by the mercy of Guru, we can go to Krishna, right? So this is by here it is actually said that by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya we are getting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Without Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we cannot go to Krishna. It's not possible. There are many yogis who did. It was in Satyuga, right? In Treta Yuga, what was that? It was the yajnas, big yajnas. They used to do Ashwamedha yajnas and all kinds of yajnas. In the Dwapar Yuga, elaborate worship of the temples. And in the age of Kali, what is there? Sankirtana, right? In the age of Kali, it's Sankirtana, or what you tell, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So this is the glories of the holy name of the Lord. And so one thing is that only by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and how much we have to chant. is there any counting? We say that chant 16 rounds, but chanting does not only restrict to 16 rounds. Chanting is every time. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not just counting in the sixth canto. It is said that it is not just counting of the holy name or remaining. I have chanted 2 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, done. My bead bag is away. Now I can do whatever work I have to do. That's not the way. Every time you have to constantly remember the Lord and constantly chant. It is said that when you are chanting, your sins are decreasing, or your sins are vanishing, and we know all that. We all know that, right? But uh, one second. But when we are not chanting, we are doing some work. We are not chanting at that time. The sin are coming back to us. Okay, when we are not chanting, the sin is occurring. So we all go for walking or something to make ourselves fit. A person who is not chanting, he thinks, I have to maintain this body. Yes, you have to maintain this body because you have got a rare form of human birth. You have to maintain this body. Yes, but how? You are going for a walk or jogging. You want to maintain your body. While you are walking or jumping or running, small ants under your feet are dying. But this, or while you are eating, you are not doing it as a prasadam. You are eating whatever, even the vegetarian food, even that contains life. Even while that you are eating, you are killing the animals, or you are killing the vegetables, and not just vegetables, the bacteria or small creatures on that plant. You are also killing that. To maintain this body, you don't know what life you are getting next for all your sins you have done in these, how many years you have done these many sins. But the Hare Krishna Mahamantra can vanish all your sins. That's how the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that powerful, and one must have the faith on that Mahamantra. One should not doubt on that Mahamantra. There's Shikshastakam, right? Which says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadum Jivanam, Anandamudivardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So, Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to that Sankirtana, or congregational chanting of the holy name, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated from past how many lives we don't know. We have accumulated all kinds of sins, right? But all glories to that Sankirtana, which is actually helping us to Chetodarpana. It is cleaning all our sins. So that's how glorious is the chanting of the holy name, and one should not doubt on it, or one should not use it for karma kanda purpose, or there are 10 offenses to the holy name of the Lord. So that is to be maintained. Yes. Yes, two shlokas per day we can go through like this, I guess, before the presentation maybe. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Also,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Say 30 now. Yeah, Adish Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
audio now.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
So today our team consists of me, Deepti
You are
Mataji.
a co-host now.
Then after Deepti Mataji will come Hemlata Mataji. After that comes me. After that comes
Kiruva Prabhu.
Lata Krishnan Mataji. Then Kiruva Shankar Prabhuji.
Okay, please raise your hands and make you can unmute yourselves. I'm not muted anymore. Pratyush Prabhu, you wanted to tell something?
Yes, Mataji. All the devotees who are going to present have raised the hand, so we can make go. Hare
They
Krishna.
can unmute by
Hare
themselves.
Krishna.
Yes. Ray Prabhu is not there.
Lata Mataji, you are also
Yes.
presenting.
Yeah,
today.
I'm there. I'm there. Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Yes.
please raise the hand so that it will be easy to make co-host.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Audio now unmuted. PowerPoint slide shows.
Who is presenting, Prabhu? You are.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Is my audio clear?
Yes, yes.
Is the PPT visible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay,
Uh,
I will start.
Mataji,
Yes.
Lata Mataji needs to be co-host. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Done, no? I'll just post the attendance link for those.
Yeah, Mataji, just 1 sec. I will post to it. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so can we start, Mataji?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So Hare Krishna everybody. Today I will be presenting few questions from chapter 5, open book. So let me start with the prayers. Om Ajnanati Viradasya Jnananjalashalape Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshai Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarini. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Brahmo Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Slide shows like.
So in this, this is our chapter 5, which we are going to present today. A few questions. So as I mentioned before, that there'll be few there. First of all, there'll be presentation. Sorry, first it will be the first question will be presented by Diti Mataji. Next it will be by Hemlata Mataji. Third will be me. Fourth will be Dr. Lata Mataji, and fifth will be Kiruba Shankar Prabhuji. So yeah.
Q6.
So Diti Mataji, could you please unmute and present?
Hare Krishna. Thanks.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I would like to offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Radha Govinda, Sri Prabhupada and NG Prabhuji and everyone. To Sri Lakshmi Mataji. Hare Krishna everyone. Dandavat Pranam. So the question that has been given to me is discuss with examples from his life now how Sri Prabhupada demonstrates the principle described in 5.18. I would like to say, please forgive me in case if I miss anything or if I say anything incorrectly, because this is a very important topic. Thank you. So basically, as we know in the verse 18, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chevasha Pake Cha Panditah Samadarshinaha. So people who are humble sages, basically like Srila Prabhupada, who are transcendentally situated, they are so much enlightened by the virtue of true knowledge that they see everyone with an equal vision. So when we talk about they see everyone with an equal vision means a person, if they belong to a different species or a different caste, for example, if it is a gentle Brahman by virtue, they come under the category mode of goodness. Similarly, the cow, the elephant, it denotes mode of passion. A dog denotes the mode of ignorance. So and a dog eater is a person who is beyond these four varnas. He is out of this varnashram dharma of Brahman, Kshatriya, Shudra and Vaishya. So people who are very humble by nature, humble sages basically, they see everyone, they have an equal vision for each and every single person. So we will just pick a few instances from the life of Srila Prabhupada to understand this. Because they understand that bodies are just the material productions of the different modes of material nature, and that is the reason why every person behaves. So he doesn't, people who are humble sages or who are enlightened souls. They are pure devotees, they are pure souls, and they just want to work for the welfare of each and every single soul on this planet or in this material world, basically. And they never distinguish whether it is a virtue or a sin. As we have seen, they according to them, everybody is on an equal platform. And when there was someone in Paddington, basically in London, when a person he approached Prabhupada and he wanted to interview a few people who had recently converted or recently moved into Vaishnavism. So when he approached him, Prabhupada said, no, everybody, whatever it was there in the, whatever it was there in the background, if it was black, now everything is white. So it is, every Vaishnava is pure. To understand this, it is like, in case if we say in the sky, if we have certain, if the sky is clear in the morning or if it is cloudless, and in the evening if we see, okay, there it is full of clouds, and but later if the clouds they really dissipate, I mean the sky becomes clear, it is clearless, then we won't say, okay, there were clouds in the morning and now it is clear. We will only look for the thing which is happening right now. So that is what matters a lot. So every Vaishnava, according to him, each and every person, he has, Prabhuji, can you please go back to the first slide? He never differentiated in any spirit soul, because he always considered everyone as the spirit souls. He understood that these bodies are temporary because we are in the material world, but the spirit soul of every person has a relation with the God, and it is an eternal relationship with him. So there was an instance when one of the person wanted to get initiated. He approached him. He said, I want to become initiated. He just said, okay, I would like to ask you two questions. Who is Krishna, and what is your relation with him? And he replied, the person replied that Krishna is God and I am a servant of God. And so he said, very good, you will be initiated tomorrow. So that is the understanding, and that is the way he always wanted to ensure that every person has a right to become pure. The consciousness has to become pure. And not only that, that we are qualitatively equal to the Lord, but we are quantitatively different. ev- uh, uh, every uh, every living entity has a soul and a super soul, and super soul resides with the person, with the soul, basically. But still they are different, quantity wise, in the case that we are the knower of our own body, but the super soul, he is the knower of each and every single living entity in this entire material world. And not only that, Prabhuji, can you please move to the next slide, please? I would like to pick a few more quotes. I'll just take a minute or two. So not only that, as we have seen, Srila Prabhupada had opened his door to everyone, even the most abject runaway. This basically covers the one wherein the person wanted to be initiated. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Next slide, please. Yeah. So thank you, Prabhuji. So one more instance wherein we can see, whenever there was a person who had done service for Prabhupada and they wanted to leave, he always ensured that each and every single person comes back to him, because he always considered them to be their own son, his son. He has mentioned that I want you to go and get him back to one of the person. I do not wish to, please do not let him leave. I love him so much. And he loved every single soul. And not only that, he also wanted to make sure, he wanted to ensure that people should understand that the super soul who is residing within the heart, Vibhu Atma, he really inspires us. So whenever we feel, okay, I want to have this, it is not that by chance people are getting it, but it is because God wants to fulfill each and every single uh, whatever wishes we have. He wants to fulfill that, because we have come in this material world. He has created this for our own happiness, and that he wanted uh, all his sons to have all the facilities to our heart's content. So that is the reason he wanted everybody to go back to Godhead, to and to take the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Radha Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna, everyone. So the question which I have given is
Who is
discuss
this?
practical. My name is Himlata Chilwani.
Yes. You are new to this, no? Okay, start.
Yes. So the question given to me was discuss practical application of the principle Pandita Samdarshana for contemporary Vaishnavas with reference to Bhagavad Gita 5.18 words in purport. So, to speak about this topic, we have this Bhagavad Gita shlok 5.18, which says that the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana. As Deepti Mataji has very clearly mentioned that how we I mean how Prabhupada used to implement it. So the basic concept behind this shlok is that uh, devotees which are in Krishna consciousness, they should see everyone as equal, seeing no distinction between lower and higher classes. That is what is meaning when we say that Samadarshina Pandita. So this verse is very important in this shloka, and it means that we should be equal to each and everyone. Now, such devotees which implement this concept in their daily lives, they are known as Paramhamsas. The main question of this question was that how do we implement this in our daily lives? So, to explain this, we would like to take an example of the doctor. So, when say suppose we are ill, we go to the doctor, and Prabhuji, could you please go? Thank you. So when we go to a doctor, say suppose we have fever or cold and cough, he doesn't see that what is our caste, we are tall or medium height, whatever our height and weight is. He doesn't look at those factors, and he just analyzes that what is the issue in the body, and then he cures according to that. So to implement it in our daily lives, what we can think of is that each and every entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We already know this concept. So when we understand that we all are equal, and um, we are just qualitatively same. We all are the souls only. It's just that we are having different bodies, and different features are there, but underlying soul is the same. So that way, we all are the same only. So when we understand this concept that we all are souls and we are parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we can implement this. So as in, like, we should treat a dog, brahmana, and elephant, all those as equal only. We should not be indifferent to anyone. uh yeah, Hare Krishna.
Audio now unmute. Power slide shows Andrew.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so my question, Hare Krishna. So today I'll be presenting question number 8, open book question, chapter number 5, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So my question is regarding the principles of Vaishnavas found in BG 5.19 to 26.
Slide shows slide 10. Adishachal
Yeah, so
Prabhuji picture appearance. Slide shows slide 10. Adishachal Prabhuji.
One second.
Adishachal Prabhuji picture appearance of Lord Chaitanya is in
One second.
Slide shows slide.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to speak about the topic of equanimity. So equanimity
PR.
means that equanimity means that this I found this in sorry, this is there in translation of BG 5.19. So equanimity here, it means that like first of all, we know that once we understand that when we understand that we are not the body, we are the soul, and when we practically understand that by self-realization, that time we reach a platform where which is where you see everyone equally, like Samadarshina. Everyone is everyone is seen equally. So that is called equanimity. So this is one of the principles which I found. So a Vaishnava is always equal to everyone, like Samadarshina, as the previous speakers mentioned about it. So after equanimity, the next quality which I found was
Anashachal Prabhuji picture appearance of Lord Chaitanya is in congregational development.
yeah. So the next one which I found was of that of that a devotee looks in devotee is not disturbed by the the happy or sad events, like anything happy happens, like anything success or any failure. Usually a normal person will be very happy with success and then will be sad at failure, but a Vaishnava is not that. A Vaishnava always thinks that success is due to the mercy of the Lord, and even whatever the sadness, the failure which a normal person will get sad, is that also is due to the mercy of the Lord. They feel that they feel that I should have got much more, but I've got less. Then next is next quality which I found is looking inwards. So I've heard this from H.D. Amrita Das Prabhuji, that he had heard from a devotee that, and after COVID, we have stopped going outside. We have stopped looking outside. So we should start looking inside. So a devotee is always happy by looking inside. Like he or she is not excuse me, disturbed by the various varieties and all that. So a devotee always like is happy, he or she is happy by looking inside, because they know that Lord is present as Paramatma within the heart, in the heart region. And this shloka is and Lord Shri Krishna also mentioned this in the second in two places in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So so a devotee knows that what is the real happiness. Then next is
Next. Anashachal.
then next point. Then after that, there's few more points which I'd like to talk about. After that is after looking in. So a devotee always looks inwards. Then then a Vaishnava always is always happy. Like he's never sad by any. He knows like what's the real happiness, so he doesn't have to like worry about other things. So let us look at some let us look at some, like, how can we get these principles into practice. First of all is that we should look everyone equally. We should not like usually excuse me, in like some places, like there are some people who look at like some kind of people with respect, some with like okay, and some with no respect. But a Vaishnava is not like that. A Vaishnava looks everyone with respect. And this reminds me of a pastime where the pastime is of Srila Prabhupada ji, that th- that that he used to always he used to look at every every he used to look at every living like even once there was a devotee who was cleaning Srila Prabhupada's table, and there's an ant. So Prabhupada told that, so Srila Prabhupada told that let him play. There's a devotee by mistake rubbed the ant. So Prabhupada was not happy. So you can understand that he could see the Lord in the ant. And also he used to, and also we know that the pastime of that once Srila Prabhupada ji was in Srila Mayapur, and after everyone had prasad, the banana leaves were put in the disposal area. And Srila Prabhupada ji heard some sound, and when he looked, he saw that few children and dogs were fighting for the remnants. So after that, Prabhupada ji said that from now, like within 10 miles of within 10 miles of the temple, no one should be hungry. So this is also another instance. And Vaishnava treats everyone equally. Doesn't look like it doesn't like if everyone is from some caste or anything. No, everyone is treated equally. So these are few principles these are few principles of Vaishnavas. So please forgive me if I made any mistake. Hare Krishna.
Q9.
Yeah, so Lata Mataji, could you please unmute?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Q line.
Hare Krishna, everyone. This is a very, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I'll make my best effort to see, because this is one of the most important verse, which is almost the essence of Bhagavad Gita that you can see in this verse. Can you move to the next slide, please? Labante Brahma Nirvanam Vishayakshena Kalmasha Chinna Dvaitayata Manah Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. Bhagavad Gita 5:25. This shows very clearly that a person whose sins are completely purged or completely destroyed, and whose doubts are annihilated, eliminated from all doubts, and mind is self-disciplined, and he is devoted for the welfare of the human being, he alone can attain God's realization. In other words, only a person who's fully in Krishna consciousness can be engaged in the welfare of all living entities. Why is it? Because in the previous verse, 5:24, it is clearly said that a liberated person is in the Brahmabhuta state, that he is happy within, he is active within, he rejoices every activities, he is a perfect mystic and is illumined within. Then this perfection that he has attained, he is liberated soul, and only a liberated soul, like a Sukdev Goswami, who is a ripened mango, he is fully devoted, constantly remember Krishna in every moment, every action, Sarvam Krishnarpanam. Such person who is not at all attached to any material contamination alone can revive this Krishna consciousness to this entire mankind. And that is the most important service to the welfare of the mankind or the living entities that he can give. The real pleasure is a person who has a complete knowledge of Krishna and understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a fountainhead. He is the enjoyer. He is the supreme proprietor. He is a supreme friend. He is everything, and everything belongs to us, and we are nothing. And we come with nothing and we go with nothing. And the only thing that we have to understand is that we are spirit souls, and we have to go back to the Godhead. That is, only a person who is always in devotional service is divine love. Krishna's divine love will take out this passion of material consciousness, and he alone can give a relief, a permanent relief to the mankind. Others who are engaged in passion in other modes of life can only give a temporary relief. But the eternal body, mind, and soul can be liberated only by those souls who are completely liberated, who are constant touch with Lord and who is connected to Lord in all means and all action, and understand that He is the doer and we are nothing. This Brahmabhuta state only can relieve us from all suffering. What is dukkha? Dukkha is nothing but when we forget Krishna. Over previous so many births that we have taken, we are suffering all through our life is only because we forget that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He is a proprietor. He is all in all. And only a liberated soul can revive this consciousness to this humanity, to this mankind, and bring in highest welfare. In Bhagavatam, in second canto, chapter 1:9, it says that only by associating ourselves with the advanced devotees who is constantly in Krishna conscious state, alone can we be liberated and we can move out of this stage of life that we are in. I would like to bring in this with my second part of the question. How is this is connected with the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada ji? His main goal is three. Number one, to spread this unadulterated teaching of Lord Krishna all over the world. That is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we are not this body, we are the spirit soul, and the Supreme Soul also resides in us. And the main purpose of our life is to go back to the kingdom of Krishna. So each and every one of us should understand that we can attain this goal only through Krishna conscious life and ultimately attain with the love of God. His mercy, His love alone can liberate us to achieve this goal of life. Srila Prabhupada ji all constantly have explored this and told this to the entire, has preached this to the entire mankind, that the relationship with God. In what way are you related to God? And how do you connect to God? As a friend, as an eternal servant, as a lover, as what? So that's the way in which we associate ourselves with God, because Krishna is everything. Krishna is the enjoyer, is a supreme enjoyer, is a proprietor. You can connect to Krishna in whatever way you want him to be connected with, but with ultimate love and devotion, without material contamination. This is the only way we can move towards to this life. And the complete eternal happiness that we get is only by associating ourselves with God. This is connected to 525 in all ways, that he says that we have to get connected to God through devotional service, through Krishna consciousness throughout our life. Hence, the liberated soul are freed from all sins and we can attain the divine love of Krishna. And that is the ultimate, and that is the purpose of our life. Thank you so much for this opportunity given. In case I have not completed anything, in case I have said something which is not appropriate, kindly excuse me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So quickly it came to me. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, continue.
Yeah. The question is, are we really dear to Krishna when we are in the path of liberation, as per Prabhupada? So the main essence here is there is umpty number of ways for liberation and renunciation. But the key thing is it should be under Krishna consciousness. Then only the actual liberation occurs. So are we dear to him? Yoga yuktaga vishuddhatma vijitatma jida indriya sarva buddha atma kurvan apina lipiyate. What Krishna says here is, one who works in devotion, who is pure soul. Whenever we start our devotion process under Krishna consciousness, automatically we become a pure soul. And who controls his mind and sense is dear to everyone. And everyone is dear to him. Though always working under this process, such a man is never entangled in this. He always stay detached because he understands the reality. The knowledge we attain is the true knowledge from Krishna himself. One who is in the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. This is what Prabhupada says. This is due to his Krishna consciousness mind. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna, just as the leaves and branches of a tree are not separate from the tree. When we pour water, the water gets transferred to entire branches, leaves, seeds, fruits, like that. So there is no difference between the leaf and branch. The tree is the ultimate. Similarly, everyone is part and parcel of God. Only the quantity differs, but the quality is same. By supplying food to the stomach, the energy is automatically distributed throughout the body. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all. He is very dear to everyone, being a servant. He is working in pure consciousness. Because he is pure in consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. And because his mind is controlled, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna consciousness. So naturally, obviously, a man of controlled senses cannot be offensive at all to anyone at any time. And apart from that, what we understand by this knowledge of Krishna consciousness is the life, the living entity is the Jivatma. Whereas every individual living being is having Paramatma as a super soul within himself, residing within us. The super soul is a companion to the soul, which is passive companion. Regarding super soul, we can understand that it is the mercy of Lord that he accompanies us in passive state throughout our journey into this material world. Like how a child wants to go to the park or a playground. The caring mother will go with him, or at least he will send a maid to keep an eye on the child. Even from far away, she always will observe whether the child is safe. Like that, it is Krishna's mercy. He resides as Paramatma and observing. What we are is the same quality, but not even remotely the same quantity as God. Like we can assume or imagine a spark of a fire or a drop of ocean. It will have the same quality as fire and ocean respectively, but the difference is the quantity. Next slide, please. Even in Upanishad, they compare the soul and the super soul to be friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird is Krishna, is simply watching his friend. Of these two birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friend. Krishna is the witnessing bird here. So ultimately, even while engaging in serious services, hearing, or even day-to-day affairs like hearing, touching, smelling, moving, sleeping, breathing, speaking, whatever we do, opening the eyes or closing, everything is controlled by Krishna. With the light of divine knowledge, we see, the devotees see, they realize, they understand that this is only the material senses that are moving among the other objects. And one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme God, the Krishna, is not affected by any sinful action, as like the lotus leaf is untouched by waters. So those who dedicate their action to God, abandoning all attachment, remaining untouched by sin, just as a lotus leaf is untouched by water, neither the sense of doers or nature of actions comes from God, nor does he create the fruits of actions. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature, gunas, which is the one who always make us a turbulence, try to make us a swing towards Maya. So this is all controlled by Krishna consciousness and conscious chanting and thinking the Supreme Personality and approaching in the devotional service. So the one who realizes the true knowledge and the nature of God is present as omnipresent everywhere, and he involves himself in the virtuous deeds of anyone. The living entities are deluded because their inner knowledge is covered by ignorance. But for those whose ignorance is destroyed by divine knowledge, the supreme entity is revealed just as the sun illuminates everything when it rises. So one who is in this knowledge, they will treat everybody as same, whether it is the elephant or the Brahmin or the dog or a dog eater. So once we realize this understanding, we never hurt others and we are not get hurt also. We are in the path of devotional service. Our vision is focused towards Krishna. So we are not at all bothered about the circumstances or situations. So the main understanding and observation in this is, in the renunciation way, in the concepts when we understand the path of devotional service, in devoting oneself once in this path, one can ultimately achieve both the practices of meditation and renouncing worldly pleasures. So the path of Karma Yoga leads us to the liberation, and we are dear to Krishna, and we are dear to all the living entities. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes. Done?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9:06. Oh, half an hour. Very nice. Very nice.
It's a ocean.
Yes, true. Anyone has any questions on the presentation?
Audio now unmuted alert.
Okay. Hemalata Mataji, Hare Krishna, or anyone, I'll just randomly ask. I don't specifically for one person, I'll just randomly ask. So, Hemalata Mataji, Ditya Mataji, and KKS Prabhu also lastly mentioned that mainly Hemalata Mataji was stressing on this, that we all are souls, and we all are souls, and we are part and parcel of the Lord, so we should be seen very equally. That 5.18 Pandita Samadarshina, right? So the dog eater, Brahmana, Gavihastini, the cow, and the elephant, they all are souls and they are part and parcel of the Lord. And a person who is humble, he can understand that he will be giving equal respect. So that means we should treat the dog and the Brahmana in the same level, right? We all are souls and we should see everybody, every living entity in a very perfect stage, isn't it? We should see, that means we should give the same level of respect to the king and the dog and the Brahmana and the tiger and everybody. That's the conclusion of this sloka, right?
Yes,
We should give equal thing. Like a cow, if I go near the cow and I embrace it, and it's fine. If I go near the tiger and I embrace it, you said you should see in the equal mode, no? You will go and embrace the tiger also in the same way you go and embrace the cow, or you will give the throne of the king to a dog because you said we should see in the equal mode, no?
Audio now.
Hare Krishna.
Harish
Mataji.
Prabhu, you later. You, I know you all know the philosophy. Newcomers or somebody. Hemlata Mataji, you try first.
Yeah, Mataji. So what I understand is that we should treat everyone equally. How tiger will treat us, that is a different response from that animal. That is the inherent nature of lion. But what we want to say here is that we should be treating everyone as equally. Yeah.
And that means you will tomorrow go and go into the zoo and you will embrace a tiger. Are you ready? Okay. Now, for example, there is a dog eater, you said, and a brahmana. Can I get in a brahmana and a dog eater in the same place and same thali and give them the eatings? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Mataji. No, Mataji. Obviously not. Not possible. He's going to devour us. No, Mataji, what you're saying is right. But yeah, I agree that the way they are going to behave is like, it's as Mataji said, based on their inherent nature. We should really have this understanding, this equality of vision, but it doesn't mean that we won't understand they are operating or they are being controlled, governed by which mode of material nature. So we have to understand that, and accordingly we have to maintain distance, but at the same time, internally we should always have this vision that yes, we see them as they are the eternal they are the spirit souls, and ultimately what is their relation with the god. So this is what is being mentioned, that we always, whenever that is what is known as samadrishti, also equanimity. But ultimately, as you mentioned, we understand, so there is a difference in treating equally and having it along with them, sitting with them and eating along with them. So that is a different story altogether, but understanding
Yes.
has to be clear. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
in the soul level, right? You're not seeing the outer posture of that person. That means when a dog comes, you can't make that enter into a temple. Okay,
Right.
when a Shopake, a dog eater comes, you can't make him sit near the king or a brahmana. It's not that. When a dog comes, give it some biscuits and then pat him and he will go by his own. When brahmana comes, get up from the seat and give him the seat. That's how the respect is. That is how the samadarshina is here mentioned. You're not mentioning, hey, Prabhu. Okay, you're not mentioning here on the basis of outer appearance or the body. So even the doctor example, the one example which I remember the doctors was, which I used for particular for my presentation was that the doctor, there are two patients, one who has surgery and one who has just a fever. Okay, so the doctor, when he treats the person who has fever, he doesn't make directly a surgery out of him. He just treats him in a normal way, or he just gives him some medicines. But a person who has the severe disease, he will do a surgery. But the same patient, when they come out, they'll say, doctor had a surgery to me, he suggested a surgery to me. And the person says, oh, you are suggested to make the surgery. He just gave me the tablets. That means his money making or money making mind he has. No, that's not the truth. The truth is you have a severe disease and you are needed to be in a surgery or you are needed to be in the ICU, and another person who has just a fever, and he is needed only to have some tablets. That's it. The situation is different, and according to that, the doctor is giving the treatments. In the same way, the situation here, the Brahmana is in the sattvic mode, the cow is in the sattvic mode. You can embrace them. But when you are coming to the Rajasic mode, where Hastini, the elephant is in a Rajasic mode, and Tamasic mode is the Swapake and the Shwan, or the dog eater and the dog. You should treat them accordingly. So this is Samadarshina in that phrase. Yes, hey Prabhu, you want to add something?
Yes. Love is it's a very clear cut principle. Love is the same, treatment is different.
Yes.
Just like the Lord. Sammoham sarvabhuteshu. He says.
Adish Prabhu mentioned about equanimity. Hey Prabhu, your topic was that, no? Last time.
Yes, equanimity, yes. Adish Prabhuji.
Yeah, you have some questions on that equanimity. Something you remember?
Equanimity. How to attain equanimity?
Yeah, even I had the same question because I have so many expectations, so many things. I'm going here and there. I go for my studies at the same time. How to chant and everything. How to control this everything? How to
Yeah, like it's so difficult. Oh God,
how to
this
do
thing
that?
that
How to maintain our equanimity at that moment?
Morning, we have to try to finish our chanting. Then
very well.
This is straight away, yeah.
So yeah, even my mother tells me that morning she told me that morning if you finish your chanting, that day will go very smooth. Whereas if chanting is not done in the morning, then what will happen is it will get postponed. Then late night you have to sit. Then next day, if you try to get up early, then sleep problem. All this will happen. Whereas chanting, if it's done in the morning, then no problem.
Yes, chanting. Okay, I chant in the morning and still I go out and then I'm so distressed, These result in my exams I have to write. I chant, 16 rounds I do and I feel so blissful. And then what to do? These results and everything, marks and everything, I have so many expectations.
You have to do your best, leave the rest for God.
Prabhuji, straightforward, very good.
My mother used to tell me this. Do your best, leave the rest to God.
See the point पे आऊँ तीर.
Efforts are to be made. Yeah.
Efforts plus prayers equal to everything possible. E plus P equals to EP.
Very true.
Yes, Haribol, correct.
Yeah, so.
And one more thing is, see, we should not get stressed. We have to do a preparation. Then we should be like, okay, see, I will try my best. Then whatever happens, that's okay. See, if we don't do our best, then okay, that's a different situation. Whereas in case it happens like this, that suddenly like this happened to me in accounts paper. Like previous day night, similar problem I studied. I started I think 11:30, I don't know, 11:30 or 11:30. Next day morning, first paper is accounts in the morning. And I thought, okay, let's do the problem. A similar problem had come. So I thought, okay, let's do this first. Whereas there only I got caught. I was like, some mistake I was doing here and there. But then later, and one more thing one more thing we have to keep in mind is that everything happens everything happens for good. Because see, we may become topper for example, like previous paper of accounts, I got highest in class. And I was in that some other mode only, that till few days back, till I faced some problems in one particular problem of accounts. And then what happened? Exam day also same problem gone. Few marks went in that because I made some mistakes. But then later I was feeling that no, this has happened but later when I came out, no, I got a different thought. By Krishna's grace, by Gauranga Mahaprabhu's grace and Srila Prabhupada's grace. That
you lost 3 marks.
No, that was the thought. The thought was that I was like, okay, finally that this is by Krishna's grace now that like I have come to normal stage. I'm not in that that feeling that like after that.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, got it.
What you told is that you don't have to worry, don't have to worry. Won't that make us careless? How to manage this now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
won't
that's also
care everything. I'll do my best and rest Krishna.
Anyways, Krishna is there. No, 16. We are doing 16 rounds every day. What? Krishna will do everything. No need to worry. Why worry
Yeah,
when
money
Krishna
will
is
be
there?
transferred to my account and I nothing. I don't want any work. I'll do my best in 8 hours and then I'll sleep.
Yeah, so here, carelessness we should not do. Like we have to be careful when doing our work. Best doesn't mean that we do something which is not expected from us, like carelessly or see mistakes happening without us knowing. It's okay. Whereas when we do mistakes, when we are knowing it, that I know, sorry, yeah, carelessness also are sometimes mistakes that we do. Sometimes it may be with knowing, sometimes without knowing. So when it is without knowing, it's fine. Whereas when it's with knowing, it's not fine, because when we don't know, it's okay. Like mistakes, if we do, then that's it, okay. But if there are mistakes that we do with knowing, then what happens is, like the feeling is a bit different. Like, I may not feel like so good, or I may feel that I did something wrong. Yeah, today something has gone wrong. I should have not done this. This feeling will come if I do something with knowingly. If I do something wrong, then it is not good. Whereas unknowingly I do some mistake, that's okay. But always we should feel that whatever happened, whatever we are trying to do is, like, we are not trying to like purposely do something, like purposely do any mistake. So
Yes,
that is
Prabhu,
what
got it.
I would
Yeah.
like to say.
Okay. Now one more question. Now, like when we are in a repentance stage, we feel like, अरे यार हमारी जिंदगी waste हो गई, मैंने ये भूल कर दी, my life is waste. I have no purpose to live. I better not live.
I understood the question. So this reminds me of a pastime of I think was it one of the Goswamis, 6 Goswamis. I don't remember the Goswamiji's name. So this was after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji. He finished his pastimes. He went to he went like he finished his pastimes, and I think it was, I don't know which Goswami was it, but one of the Goswamis, that I think it was I don't remember, one of the Goswamis
Continue.
who spent maximum time with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji. So he was in that mood of like, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji has gone back home. He has finished his pastimes. Then even the devotee who was senior to him, he also went finished his pastimes. So he was really feeling like, I'll like what Het Prabhuji was trying to explain. So that time, the other Goswami, one of the other Goswami, uh, came and told him that, see, this life is, see see that we are the past, like this is not this is what I have understood little bit by Krishna's grace, which I heard from which he had, which I have heard from I think it is, I heard from, I think his grace Amrita Das probably, I think I heard this from him. So that time the other Goswami says that this body is not ours. This body belongs to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should not do, see, we should not give up this body like just because we want to give, like we should not like do like suicide or anything like that, because this body is not ours. It belongs to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It belongs to Lord Sri Krishna. So anything so anytime we feel something like that, now what should I do? What should I do? Like, why did I do this? So that time we have to remember that Either this is because of our past karma. This can be one of the things. This reminds me of one more past time of Srila Prabhupada. Once Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture, and then he asked, like, any questions? That time one person from India only, I think. Yeah, I don't remember his name. He told Prabhupada that why did you get this, like all, like, why did you get this year, all like these things. And then later when Prabhupada was leaving from that particular city, it was that city was in America. So that time Prabhupada told one of his assistants that to get that person. That time they said that the assistant said that why, like, he spoke this is his things with he spoke this is his things after your lecture, after your class, after your speech. So that time Prabhupada said that I may have, like, he said that I don't remember exactly because of what Srila Prabhupada said, but he said
Yes.
that in my past life I may have spoken to this person like in that particular way. So one thing is that either it's a past karma. One thing is
Yes.
that,
Or
or it is like we should always feel that this is happening for my good. Or it may be like,
everything is happening for good. जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. That's what you want to say, no?
yes.
Okay, done. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Please forgive me if I made any mistakes.
No. Yes.
Very
Hare
nice
Krishna.
elaborate explanation.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Next was Lata Mataji's
Thoda.
question on. One second, I'll just see what is that question. That was 5.25. It was about explain what is the highest welfare work and why. Which reference of Bhagavad Gita 5.25 with reference to BG 5.25 discuss how this purport reflects on Srila Prabhupada's mood and vision. Yeah, so welfare about that program.
No, means what is your question? That is the essay question. No?
So which is the welfare that she is mentioning about? So in the question only it is asked highest welfare work. What is it and why is it? Yeah, so
The highest welfare is those people who are liberated souls, who's able to pass on this, that Krishna consciousness and how to lead a Krishna conscious life, how you to get connected with Krishna. Then you are creating a kind of ecosystem in the entire world. That is the greatest welfare. The welfare is how Srila Prabhupada says that I wanted to, spread the knowledge, unadulterated knowledge about Krishna to the entire world. Who can do it? A person who is liberated, whose sins are annihilated, whose sins are destroyed, and is eliminated from all doubts, and who can control his mind, who is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, who remembers Krishna, and who understands that the suffering for this mankind is because of his material contamination. When he makes for people, he revives, he brings then this knowledge to the mankind, that the only happiness that you get is when you are away from this, you are active within, you are happy within, you are rejoiced within, when you are in the state of devotional service and constantly remembering Krishna, because when you understand that you are not the doer and Krishna is the supreme personality, he is the enjoyer and is a friend, and by which you are moving out of your depression, your distress, because we know that we are not this body, and this is our ultimate goal in life, is to go back to Krishna, go back to the kingdom of Krishna. So that is, if any seeker, if the greatest devotee or the advanced devotee who is completely liberated, is able to pass this message to the mankind. That is the greatest work that he is doing it, highest welfare work. If he is revived this consciousness in the mind of the people, the entire human society, then that is the highest welfare work, according to this verse.
No, but feeding others, that all is not important.
Yeah, because I don't understand this your Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, because like how much hours like they fought for independence is not that highest.
Yeah, and nowadays ministers are doing all
No, that is, yes, you're fighting for the purpose. See, there is no, as you rightly said, the equanimity of, you're fighting with an objective in mind. It is either for bringing about the peace, but ultimately, do you have any ultimate, that is, it is not for your vested interest. If you do not have a vested interest, your interest is to serve the Lord. That is the welfare. The welfare that you are bringing in is peace. The welfare you're bringing in is equanimity of mind. Your welfare that you're bringing in is a balanced mind, compassion, empathy, love, loving kindness. That is the welfare. Not to attain.
No. See, if we would have not gotten independence, would we even be able to safely perform Krishna consciousness and preach and all? So,
no. Independence is very much needed, but the independent India, unfortunately, is vested with the politicians and the selfish-minded people who are working for their own interest. Tell me, I sometimes feel when we were governed by the Britishers, we were better off. We were better off in the sense that education was for education purpose. Today, what is happening to the education? We are bringing in religion into education. We are bringing in, it's become a PowerPoint, power, politics, conflicts. When we understand that the world, unless there is peace in the world, unless there is compassion, loving compassion, unless there is empathy, we have to be empathizing for a lower, underprivileged people. In what way can we help them? How can we bring in a society which is filled with, what welfare associations can we do? What welfare measures can we do? How we can bring in health, education, sanitation, these kind of things. India is still 48% of the population is underprivileged. They don't have 2 square meals a day. Underprivileged, and we are in poverty line, below poverty line. That is, the family is not able to get $1 a day. So in what way the independence has brought about? 12% of the people are enjoying 80% of the income. Indians are the richest people, but that is only 12% of the population. Why? Because they are selfish. Why? Because they don't have loving kindness. Why? Because there is no peace in the economy, in the society. Why? Because there is no compassion. Why? Because there is no empathy. Otherwise, our country would be the most richest country in the world. Because inequalities in resources, distribution of resources, rich become richer and richer, poor become poorer and poorer. This is the economic thing. No, but I feel the peace and equanimity can be brought about in the mankind without bringing religion into this thing. Loving, compassion, kindness, empathy, empathizing people, all these things, religion doesn't come.
Yes, Mataji.
Caste doesn't come.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So, see, basically, agar if we give person some food, okay, some hungry person, okay, after that again I will ask for that. Now you gave me so much food, I'm really happy, but I want water, I'm thirsty. So now you give him thirsty. Now it's like I'm completely like I want some place to live. I can't live in this on streets every day. So you give him a very nice flat. Okay. Now after that he's like, what will I do alone in the flat? He'll say that, oh, I want some wife or someone to be there in my house. Well, and then again he'll desire that this.
That's why, Prabhuji, I feel instead of giving him a fish, we have to teach him fishing, so that he becomes self-reliant. He can earn his own earning and support his family and for all his needs. We should not feed him. We should give him the amenities to be fed, in the sense that instead of giving him a fish, you can only solve his hunger for a day. But you teach him fishing, you are able to bring in, you make, he is self-sufficient. He can support himself and his family.
Yes. But yeah, you can okay, you can use some other examples instead of fish.
Yeah, I can use other example. For example, you are telling a person, okay, you are very poor. This is a Chinese proverb, Prabhuji, that is normally we use for people where we make them self-sufficient. If suppose you give him food for a day, he's happy for a day. You give him, as you said, you want clothes, you give him house, you give him all his desires. But how long can you make him? You have to make him self-sufficient. So you give him an occupation, give him some job, give him something, occupation for life.
Yes.
When you give him an occupation for life, everybody. So he becomes self-sufficient.
Yes,
And
it's
he doesn't
already late, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna, yes.
Hare Krishna.
So now,
I hope.
yes, your message is understood. So now, because it's quite late, so we will be ending this with the session. Yes, Mataji, you are the host. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha vasindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai.
Jai Shila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare